Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Walter's Wanderings Travel Podcast. This is a very special edition of the podcast, and we're going to be focusing on the Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines. And I have a special guest in just a minute. But for the whole month of June, we will have for you very special offers from Royal Caribbean. If you book a Royal Caribbean cruise of 7 days or more with me at Walter's Wanderings Travel, I'm going to throw in $50 extra onboard credit if you are in a state room that is either interior or ocean view. If you're balcony or better, I'll throw in $100 of extra onboard credit. As well, if you book before June 10th, any Royal Caribbean cruise of the qualifying length of 7 days, you will get from Royal Caribbean $25 onboard credit. If you're in the interior cabin, an ocean view cabin, $50 onboard credit additional. If you are in a balcony cabin, if you go better than balcony, a suite, you can get an extra $100 of onboard credit. Cruise demand is really high, and the supplies in some cases are really low. So please, please, please make sure you get in touch with Walter's Wanderings Travel to take care of that. Now we add our special guest today. She is a Senior Vice President of Sales for Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, and I'm really actually honored to have Vicki Freed with us. Vicki, are you there?
I am, and hi, Scott, and thank you for having me on your podcast.
Yeah, I really appreciate you being with us today, and I think the biggest thing that we have to talk about is the whole return to cruising thing. Return to cruising is a big issue. It's a big story. I know there's been a lot of behind-the-scenes maneuvering that, quite frankly, I don't want to be privy to to make it happen. And so let's get talking about that. Talk about Royal's return to cruising, what's going on, how's that happening, and most importantly, what the protocols are for people that are thinking about cruising the end of 2021 and into 2022.
Well, thank you. And yes, it's a good time to be talking about the return to cruising. And we are returning to cruising starting this month. And 2021 summer is going to be a great summer for all of us. So for those of you who are listening and have missed your summer vacations for the past year or two, you now have the opportunity to take a cruise with Royal Caribbean this summer. So we are starting up service in just a short time out of the Bahamas on the Adventure of the Seas, and some great itineraries, but you do need to fly to Nassau. But if you'd like to stay a little bit closer to home, soon to be released in the next few days is that we will be giving our summer lineup. And the first cruise that's going to come back is Freedom of the Seas over July 4th. It's a short weekend cruise. It seems like the Freedom of the Seas is the right ship, and she's going to be going to the Bahamas from Miami, and Perfect Day at Coco Cay. So and that starts July 2nd. And after that, then the ships are all coming back. Our crew is being vaccinated right now. And you know, a couple days ago, I was at our office in the port of Miami, and you saw all the cruise ships lined up. The cruise lines are all getting ready to vaccinate the crew, and so it's all happening.
Well, it's really great. Now, what are the protocols for passengers that the passengers have to adhere to in order to hop on board and enjoy the Royal Caribbean experience?
Well, you know, that's changing moment by moment. At Royal Caribbean, we are working harder now to get back to service, and we have meetings every single day at 9 o'clock and at 4 o'clock. And a lot of the information at 9 o'clock has changed by the time we get to 4 o'clock. And so the protocols are not officially out yet. They should be out in the next couple of days. But I think our guests are going to be very happy with what the CDC has guided us with, and the governor of Florida. And so I think you're going to feel very good about getting on a summer vacation.
So basically what you're saying then is the current infighting perhaps between Governor DeSantis in Florida and the CDC may have gotten to a détente perhaps?
Perhaps. I'm really not able to comment on the political situation there, but I can tell you that, you know, we have had a very positive relationship with the CDC, a very positive relationship with the governor. And by the way, I forgot to mention, we've already committed to cruising in Alaska this summer. And so we will be out of Seattle, and these ships are open for sale right now. The Serenade of the Seas, 7-night cruises from Seattle, round trip Seattle, and no non-US foreign ports. So no going to Canada, but going to the beauty of Alaska, Juneau, Sitka, catch-a-can, beautiful itineraries, and you don't need a passport. And that's something a lot of Americans say, oh, I don't need a passport. No, you just need your birth certificate. We highly recommend you have a passport, but because it's a closed loop sailing with no non-foreign port, this is the summer to cruise Alaska. And also the brand new Ovation of the Seas will be another ship of ours in Alaska, and she starts on August 13th.
And I want to just point out, the Royal Caribbean is the only major cruise line that has 2 ships cruising to Alaska this summer. All the other players that go to Alaska only have 1 cruise ship going. So that's an important distinction. And you have 2 different ships, and they're from 2 different classes of Royal Caribbean ships. So there's lots of options for the cruiser. And I think the big point takeaway is, of course, no need for any passport. If you just have a birth certificate, you can go, and it just does make it a lot easier for those people who haven't gone around to the passport. And with the current passport situation being at least 8 to 12 weeks for non-expedited passports, it's a good thing to be able to have that extra flexibility. There's no doubt. So now let's talk further, and I want to talk about the private island that you all have, that you built up in the Bahamas chain called Coco Cay. The pictures of it are great. All the clients I've sent there have wanted to actually stay and live there. It's truly a wondrous place with many different features, nooks and crannies, and a lot of stuff you can do for free. And if you want to upgrade your experience, you can do that too. So let's talk a few minutes about Coco Cay.
Sure, thank you. And I do know that a lot of our guests want to stay there because they see our housing that's on the island. And the housing is actually for our crew members that live there and are on the island full time, and all of which are vaccinated. So that's another safety factor that we want our guests to feel comfortable that our crew has been vaccinated. They live on the island, so there's no challenges with people coming in and off of the island. So Perfect Day at Coco Cay is one of those islands that's very special. It is our #1 rated port of call. So we cruise worldwide, and of all the ports we go to, our guests say that this is the #1 port. There's the thrill and the chill side. So depending on what your mood is, if you want to do the water parks and the wave pools and the long slides, you want to go on the thrill side, and there is a small charge for that. If you want to just chill and relax, there are beautiful beaches, beautiful pool areas, lots to do on the chill side, and of course, great food everywhere, whether you're on the thrill or the chill side. The food is wonderful, complimentary in most cases, with the exception of the Cocoa Beach Club. The best fries, the best hamburgers, you won't find better.
Well, all I know is, like I said, everyone who's gone has really enjoyed it, no matter which side they go on. Now, what about if you're the parents, like I'm a parent, and my wife is the other parent, and we just want to be on the chill side because we're done with thrills, but my 3 kids who are, they're still kids, they're 17, 14, and 13, if they go to the chill side and the thrill side and they want to do all that thrill stuff, is there a supervision and such available for that age group, or how does it work for families with kids to do that?
Well, and that's a great question. We have lifeguards everywhere. So anywhere there's water, there are multiple lifeguards. Like in the wave pool, I believe we have 8 lifeguards that are watching the kids and the adults who are in the wave pool. So we do have lifeguards there. It really depends on the age of your kids. I mean, if they're preteen and teen and you want to let them have fun splashing around and on the slides and all of that, there is supervision. However, if they're young children, 3 or 4, I probably would suggest as a parent myself that the parent should be with them.
Yeah, I would think of the younger age for sure, but I just wanted to know that there is a delineation, and I think it's great that you have 2 different vibes going on in the same place, and no doubt the next time I go down there, I'll do some thrills as long as no one takes any video. I'll do them. I promise you. Now. Royal Caribbean, obviously we have several what I consider mainstream cruise lines out there. I don't need to name the others because everyone basically knows who they are. But what makes Royal Caribbean different as far as how the whole cruise experience is compared to the other cruise lines?
Okay, that's a great question too. Well, first of all, I really don't believe there's a bad cruise line out there. I really believe there's a cruise line that fits everybody. But if people want to know how do we define the experience on board a Royal Caribbean ship, it's really the unique combination of quality and energy combined. There's lots of quality cruise lines out there. In fact, we own a few. And then there's some cruise lines that have just the energy, but they don't have the quality. So we actually make it a combined effort. So when you go on board our ship, even though they're in the contemporary market because of their size, they're really a premium experience in terms of the quality of the experience, the quality of the food, the quality of the entertainment. And yet we don't lose any of the energy and the fun and the slides and the activities on board. And so it's the best of both worlds because you get a nice family-friendly vacation. If couples just want a quality experience on board with entertainment and live music and bands, they can find that. We have different neighborhoods on our Oasis class ships. So we have, Boardwalk, we have Central Park. I mean, we are the most innovative, I would say, not just cruise line out there, probably travel company. I mean, next to a Disney World, I don't think you'll find innovation as much as you'd find on Royal Caribbean.
I think you might be right, but between everything from the robotic bartenders to the big slides you see to, again, having balconies that look inside the ship, those are all different things that Royal has that right now no other cruise line really has, and I think that's really important. Now, I do have a couple questions from my fellow travel agent colleagues. My travel advisors asked me to ask you, in these days and ages where we have a lot of these kind of, changeable feasts and all that, what would you say to someone who's kind of on the fence about cruising because of all the requisite concerns that they might have given today's times we're in?
Well, I mean, at Royal Caribbean, we want our guests to feel 100% comfortable that when they make the decision to go with Royal Caribbean, they've made the right decision. But sometimes in this crazy world that keeps changing moment by moment, there is hesitation. And so we have a great program called Cruise with Confidence. And if you book between now and I think the program is through July of this year, you can cancel at any time up to 48 hours before and get 100% of your money towards a future cruise credit. And you can cancel for any reason. Maybe you just changed your mind. Maybe something's come up. It's not insurance, so you don't even need insurance for this piece of the equation. So it's a great program. It gives you confidence that we want you to come and we want you to feel good, but if you want to cancel up to 48 hours before, we're going to give you 100% of your money back in a future cruise credit to be used at a later date.
Well, that certainly is a good way to think about things. There's no doubt. Now, the next question I have is, will there be any exceptions, modifications for any children under 12 years old who right now are not vaccine eligible, or have we not quite crossed that bridge yet?
Well, anybody under 12 does not need to have the vaccine. Anybody over 12, that's where things could change a little bit, and we will have more information shortly.
So basically, if for all the people with the 11 and unders, you're basically going to be free to go cruising as long as you, the adult, are fully vaccinated. More or less.
That is correct. But stay tuned because, as I said at the beginning of this podcast, the world is changing moment by moment. We could be finished with this podcast, and you know what? Things could have changed.
It's funny you say that because I keep telling all of my clients, I put on almost all my social media posts that this is a changeable feast and it's subject to change without notice. And it truly becomes that way. The next thing I want to ask is, this is a personal question for me, so hopefully you won't take any umbrage. But I have 3 kids, and I have my wife and I. So there's 5 of us in our family. Now, when I go to book a cabin that holds 5 people in the Royal Caribbean, for some reason that's unknown to me, I have to actually make 2 bookings for that. Is there a way that for cabins that hold 5 and you have 5 people, that can be changed in the future for poor saps like me who have 3 kids? Is that possible?
Okay, I also have 3 children, so I feel your pain. Our systems were built in the late 90s, and even though our ships have always been built with accommodations that can hold more than 4 people, we have one room, which is the 4-bedroom, 4-bath presidential suite, which can hold 16 people. We have a lot of rooms that can hold 8 people, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. We don't have the capacity in our system to make it under one reservation number. However, you can now go online. You can see that they're available through our travel portal, and then you can book it, but you will have to have 2 ID numbers for the reservation.
Right. I was hoping to get just one. It's just a little extra paperwork, but you feel my pain, so that's okay. I have a question that's not really related to Royal Caribbean and the travel experience, but it is a life lesson that I was told about yesterday that I want you to go through with me. Can you talk to me and talk to the people out there about the power of a thank you note? And if you have a specific experience regarding that, maybe a restaurant in Miami that might have done that for you?
The power of a what?
Thank you note.
Oh,
Sending a thank you note.
I thought you said a banking.
No. Thank you. A thank you note. Thank you.
I think a thank you note in today's world, a handwritten note, is so meaningful. And just to touch base with people, mail has become so unexciting. And yet when somebody gets a beautiful handwritten note that just says, I'm thinking about you, or thank you so much, it can make such a difference. And I got some sad news today. Our Turkish tour operator, he passed away last night. It made me so sad. Somebody texted me and they said, Erkunt owner, he passed away last night. And I, about 2 weeks ago, sent him a handwritten note, just letting him know I was thinking about him and that I know that the world is upside down and that I'm sure his business has been struggling. And he was ill. He got COVID. And I really hope in my heart, when I heard the horrible news that he passed away last night, I hope in my heart he'd gotten the note I wrote him, because about 2 months ago, I also wrote him a note, and he wrote me, he had to be, I don't know how old he is, maybe in his 80s. He wrote me a handwritten note saying how touched he was that I wrote him a handwritten note. So I definitely believe in the power of kindness and the power of notes. And it takes so little time to just write on pen and paper, I'm thinking about you. I hope you're doing well. You're important to me. So I'm a big believer.
Well, that's great, and I know that the power of that kind of communication cannot be underestimated. Well, one of my travel advisor friends just wants to tell you that they appreciate a couple of people that are on your staff there, Michelle Farr and Tommy Leda. So I wanted to pass those shout outs along to you.
Thank you.
In fact, everyone at Royal has been very kind to me. And like I said, they did offer, you offered to me an exclusive to Walters Wanderings Travel with additional onboard credit on top of the onboard credit I'm offering this whole month of June. So again, if you book this week with Walters Wanderings Travel, you'll get extra onboard credit from Royal Caribbean, $25 for interior, $50 for interior and ocean view, $50 for balcony, and $100 for a suite. And if you book with me the whole month, if you can't get it done by the 10th, no worries. I'll throw in $50 myself for interior and ocean view, and I'll throw in $100 for balcony or better, because I really believe in the Royal Caribbean brand. I really I enjoy booking it for clients. I have clients that are ready to go. I have some going in November. I have some going in December. I'm looking to get a couple sent up to Alaska because it's truly a wondrous place. I went on one of the other cruise lines 2 years ago in Alaska, and I can tell you that it's really splendid. And there's no doubt that it's truly a wonderful experience to go cruising. The value. Let's talk about the value of cruising versus other vacations before I let you go. What do you think is the biggest value point in cruising compared to, say, a land vacation at like even Disney that you had mentioned earlier? What are some of the value points that we need to talk about?
Well, I think that when you look at a cruise vacation, and particularly Royal Caribbean, and what you get on the ROI on your vacation dollar, there isn't a better vacation, because we provide not only delicious food and great experiences, fabulous entertainment, the activities, all of that's included on board, that you also, you just get the most bang for your dollar. And so you won't find that in other places. You're not going to be nickeled and dimed when you go on board. If you choose to go to one of our specialty restaurants and have a really lovely dinner out with your spouse or whomever or your family, that's your choice. But if you choose not to spend any money on board, you don't have to spend any money on board. Other than gratuities, which is for the staff, it is really the best vacation value. It really is.
And not only that, this is the one thing I love. You get to unpack and pack once, and you still get to go to all kinds of wondrous places. And that, to me, there's great value in that. I just can't even imagine doing island hopping in the Caribbean if I had to get on a plane and hop from island to island and unpack and pack. My head would explode. So that's the other great thing about being on a cruise ship. Well, Vicki Freed, I cannot thank you enough for being on board this podcast. You answered a lot of questions. You answered all the questions you could answer. And again, it's a changeable feast, so we'll just have to see what happens. And we know that the big thing is we know cruising is back. We know that cruising is back to Alaska. We know cruising is back from the Bahamas. We even know that cruising is going to be back from Miami. So we know it's coming, and we know that the whole world fleet will be up soon enough. And again, your small deposit holds your space. You can book out to 2023. It's really quite amazing. And I really appreciate you being on board with us today on the Walters Wanderings Travel Podcast. And to everyone out there listening and watching, I thank you so much. And I'll be back with another edition soon. Take care and have a great day.
Thank you.